Survivor Series is in the books and there are more questions than answers. Number 1. Women's War Games match, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and AJ vs Asuka, Kairi Sane, Nia Jax/Legend, and Becky Lynch. Friday revisited with Charlotte Flair and Asuka started the War Games. Io Sky entered the fray with a trash can cover at hand. Becky Lynch is next with kendo stick. Alexa Bliss is next, followed by Kairi Sane. AJ climbed into the cell. Next Nia Jax, Rhea Ripley with her best at the clown gear. Last was Legend. It was chaotic in the best possible way, leading to Team Rhea working together to finally lead AJ submitting Becky Lynch. Winner, Team Rhea, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, and AJ. Number 2. Intercontinental Championship, John Cena, vs Dominik Mysterio. John Cena's last PLE and it was a memorable one. Back and forth where Judgment Day kept getting involved. On the outside, Dirty Dom does a hurricanrana just to injure himself, or that was the feel of the situation. As refs and medical took care of Dirty Dom, Judgment Day took advantage where Roxanne Perez gave Cena a pop rocks and Raquel Rodriguez gave Cena the Tejana bomb. Dirty Dom was faking and went on the assault. Ref got frustrated by Judgment Day and throws them out. Ref bump leads to other members of Judgment Day to attack John Cena, but somehow Super John takes control. Liv Morgan appears, slaps Dirty Dom, jumps on John Cena to hug and out of nowhere, low blow kick. Winner and new Intercontinental Champion Dirty Dom Mysterio. Number 3. Women's World Championship, Stephanie Vaca, vs Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella attacks at the get-go but Stephanie Vaca takes the lead again. Devil's kiss on commentary table then in the ring. Stephanie Vaca uses her skill set to take over the situation. Winner and still Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaca. Number 4. Men's War Games match, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and the Usos vs Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre, Brock Lesnar, Bronson Reed, and Bron Breakker. CM Punk enters the ring first, followed by Bron Breakker. A solid interaction between the best in the world and the badass. McIntyre enters next and quickly attacks Punk. Cody Rhodes climbs in and haphazardly enters, mistakenly hits Punk leading to the faces bouncing heads. At one point, Punk and Rhodes attempt the Doomsday device and Bron Breakker landed awkwardly on his neck. Logan Paul is next and even the odds, followed by Jimmy Uso where he quickly introduced a table to the cage. Bronson Reed enters the mix and gave out tsunamis like he was a better Oprah. Tsunami for you, and who can forget you. Jey Uso yeeted his way into the cage. Brock Lesnar is next and was F5 in everyone. Roman's music plays, Brock Lesnar meets him leading to a scuffle and a F5 outside. Everyone enters and War Games begins, where everyone is getting their licks. Paul Heyman gives Logan Paul his brass knucks just to get speared by Roman Reigns. Roman then did his best Oprah impression and delivered spears to everyone. A hooded mystery man climbs the cage, cock stomped CM Punk to which Bron Breakker spears him for the 1, 2, 3. Winners, The Vision, Bron Breakker, Bronson Reed, Logan Paul, Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar. Well, what an amazing night of wrestling. Now to the What If series, followed by Varied Stuff.
Welcome to another episode of EveryRing, that's everything wrestling. Today we have a very interesting what if. What if Antonio Inoki had signed with WWE then WWF instead of founding New Japan Pro Wrestling NJPW in 1972? The global professional wrestling landscape, including the later emergence and character of AEW and TNA, would be dramatically different. Impact on WWE WWF. Inoki in WWE would likely have had the following effects. Early proto-MMA influence. Inoki's strong style, which emphasized a realistic, martial arts-influenced presentation, might have been integrated into the WWF earlier. This could have led to a faster rise of mixed martial arts (MMA) elements in mainstream US wrestling, potentially a decade or more before the actual MMA boom. Global expansion and cross-promotional relations. Inoki was a shrewd businessman who formed working relationships with various companies and ran major international shows. His presence could have accelerated the WWF's international expansion, especially in Japan, and changed how the company viewed and executed interpromotional cooperation. Character and roster changes. Inoki's unique booking style and charisma could have altered the WWF's character-driven, entertainment-focused model. He might have been a significant, legitimate feeling star, possibly affecting the pushes of other key performers and the overall style of the show. Unrecognized title reign avoided. The actual, albeit unrecognized by WWE, WWF Championship win in 1979 would have been handled differently, either by being a fully recognized reign or not happening at all in a unified company, avoiding that historical oddity. Antonio Inoki would have been a talent that would have changed the landscape. As mentioned, his WWE win against Bob Backlund was never recognized, but if it did, the reign could have been something special. So imagine the whole scenario of Iron Sheik would never have happened, which ultimately means no Hulkamania. The domino effect would be aggressively different. The whole landscape of wrestling could be tremendously impactful. So Antonio Inoki could have been the star in the West where sports entertainment would be bypassed. Not only would Hulk Hogan not been a factor, the whole rock and wrestling era voided. Antonio Inoki is a motivated force and could have worked to take over WWF. Vince Sr. could have worked to embrace the strong style unpushed forward. So baby steps of stopping the spectacle and no WrestleMania and so on. So without the WWE we all know, wrestling could have taken a vastly different direction. Impact on AEW and TNA. Impact Wrestling. The primary effect on TNA and AEW stems from the non-existence of NJPW as a separate entity. No NJPW, no key alternative. NJPW was the premier Japanese wrestling promotion for decades, offering a distinct, strong style, alternative to American wrestling. Without it, a major force in the global wrestling ecosystem is gone, drastically altering the career paths of countless wrestlers and the development of the King of Strong Style itself, Shinsuke Nakamura, for example. Talent pool and style development. Key performers who defined TNA and later AEW, e.g., AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Finn Balor often built their global reputations through working with or in NJPW. The unique, strong style, and junior heavyweight style that heavily influenced modern wrestling might not have developed in the same way, or at all, in a WWE system. Missed partnerships. Both TNA and AEW have had significant partnerships with NJPW. These would never have occurred. AEW in particular has a major working relationship with NJPW that has led to successful co-promoted shows like Forbidden Door. Without NJPW, AEW would lack that key partnership and source of talent and prestige. Altered competitive landscape. Without NJPW as a top alternative, the entire competitive landscape is different. TNA and AEW would still likely exist as responses to WWE's dominance, but their talent rosters, in-ring styles, and international partnerships would be unrecognizable. The influence of Japanese strong style on modern American wrestling would be significantly diminished. AEW's Forbidden Door would never happen, and without the working relationship EU would be DOA. Wrestlers like Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, and so on wouldn't exist. Their American runs were uneventful, so no existence of NJPW. These stars would never have happened. AEW may have never been even a thought. The Japanese picture would be dim, so without Antonio Inoki's vision, Japan may not have embraced wrestling in the first place. No G1 Classic. No essential innovation of strong style in Japan. It would have been a tremendous loss in the world of international wrestling. TNA. We put together the AEW and TNA due to the working relationship was similar. Let's break down TNA's relationship. No NJPW would have a similar experience as AEW. TNA's development was due to Jeff Jarrett and family wanting an alternative, so if New Japan wasn't a factor, the fast pace and strong style wouldn't be an influence on the likes of Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. So domino effect of no creation of the X Division, and TNA, if created, would have anything different and would not been successful. A factor we didn't discuss is how it would have affected women's wrestling. Japan actually had some of the true women's wrestlers who revolutionized the sport, but with Antonio Inoki in Japan this would be neglected. So without the exposure, women's wrestling could be left back into the circus days and never embraced. So we would not have the Knockouts division or Wrestling Evolution. Wrestling has been affected by the chin more than expected. So that's another what-if scenario for EveryRing. That's everything wrestling. Now to the results and predictions, then finally discussion.
Friday night was crazy busy. This is Skylar with the results of both Raw Final Battle and TNA Final Resolution. Raw Final Battle. To do something different, I'm going to put it in order from best match to so-so. Bandito retained the Raw World Championship in a survival of the fittest match. Bandito is adding to why he should be Wrestler of the Year. Red Velvet became a two-time Raw Women's World Television Champion by defeating Mercedes Mone. Surprise of the night, Red Velvet did the unbelievable. Ricochet successfully defended the AEW National Championship against Dalton Castle. Dalton Castle deserves better. Deonna Purrazzo won the Raw Women's Pure Championship tournament to become the first champion. Great match and Deonna deserves the spotlight. Athena retained the Raw Women's World Championship against Persephone. Great match, but Athena winning all the time makes it almost pointless. La Fucking Ingobernable, Sammy Guevara and the Beast Mortos won the vacant Raw World Tag Team Championship. Rush being injured, and keeping it with LFI is pretty pointless. Lee Moriarty defeated Nigel McGuinness in a 30-minute Iron Man match. Great match but predictable. Eddie Kingston defeated Josh Woods. The event concluded with Matt Cardona returning to Raw and attacking Kingston. Eddie Kingston is an enigma. Why is he famous? Shane Taylor Promotions retained the Raw World 6-Man Tag Team Championship against Sky Fly. Too predictable. Tony Khan's Raw is a shell of it once was. TNA Final Resolution. TNA World Championship. Frankie Kazarian defeated JDC via technical knockout to retain the title. TNA Knockouts World Championship. Lei Ying Li defeated Shaw Brookside to retain the title. TNA X Division Championship. Leon Slater defeated AJ Francis to retain the title. TNA World Tag Team Championship. The Hardys Matt and Jeff Hardy defeated High Rise Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igwe. TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championship. The I Inspiration Cassie Lee and Jessie McKay defeated Tessa Blanchard and Victoria Crawford. TNA International Championship. Channing, Stacks, Lorenzo defeated Steve Macklin to win the title. Street Fight. Matt Cardona defeated Mance Warner. Singles match. Mike Santana defeated Charlie Dempsey. 8-man tag team match. The Rascals, Trey Miguel, Myron Reed, Zachary Wentz, and Desmond Xavier defeated Order 4, Mustafa Ali, John Skylar, Jason Hotch, and Special Agent Zero. Now to predictions and discussion.
Predictions for next deadline. With the fascinating Iron Survivor for both the men's and women's makes these predictions quite difficult but exciting. Men's Iron Survivor match: Leon Slater vs. Joe Hendry vs. Miles Bourne vs. John Lennox vs. Javon Evans. Leon Slater is going to be the dark horse of the match and most intriguing. Javon Evans deserves the gold and could help bring in the new next era. The most likely will be Joe Hendry. The newest signee will quickly move up the ranks. Prediction: Joe Hendry will be the Iron Survivor. Men's North American Championship: Ethan Page vs. Mr. Iguana. This is continuing Ethan's feud with Dr. Wagner and Triple M matches for All Eagle. Prediction: Ethan Page returns but Dr. Wagner will play a role. Grudge match: Izzy Dem vs. Tatum Paxley. Revenge is best served cold. Tatum Paxley is the ultimate antihero who has gotten the gold shoulder from all who have befriended her. Prediction: Tatum Paxley gets revenge and may have some reinforcements. Women's Iron Survivor match: Sol Ruka vs. Kelani Jordan vs. Jordan Grace vs. Lola Vice vs. Kendall Gray. This is the most intriguing matchup. Every single lady is deserving of the win. Lola Vice has been the workhorse who has been burning the candle at both ends. Kendall Gray is very intriguing. The Evolve champion has everyone salivating in what could come. Sol Ruka is a bona fide superstar who has all the pundits wanting to see her succeed. Kelani Jordan being forced to be heel is interesting. Prediction: Jordan Grace needs this win and getting her hands on next women's title will justify her signing. WWE Next Championship: Ricky Saints vs. Obafemi. The ruler returns to rule his kingdom. Obafemi is ready for the main roster, but collecting next gold for the second time just makes his presence more powerful. Well, now to the discussion.
So much wrestling to go through. Big TNA news. AMC has signed TNA and starting January 15, 2026, big news. TNT Final Resolution had some surprises. TNA vs NXT, the event featured several matches stemming from the ongoing Invasion storyline by NXT wrestlers. The TNA team had some wins, Santana, the Hardys, Rascals, but lost the international title to NXT's Stacks Lorenzo. The Righteous debut. Following the Hardys' successful title defense, the tag team The Righteous, Dutch and Vincent, made their debut, confronting the champions and setting up a future feud. Debuts of the Andersons and Bear Bronson. Why? WWE had a lot of stuff going on. Gunther is going to be the final star against John Cena, so Gunther will retire another star. Raw had Zayda Steele, she officially is part of the company. AEW has signed Lena Cross, the indie star has wrestled for DPW, JCW, and Limitless. WWE Royal Rumble in Riyadh will be at the Kingdom Arena. Let's go to matches of the week, wrestlers of the week and indie star. Matches of the week. WWE. Raw. Last time is now. Gunther vs Solo Sikoa. Two heels putting out a great match. NXT. Sol Rika, Lola Weiss and Kendall Gray vs Fatal Influence. The best damn women's division was on full display and they killed it. SmackDown. Last time is now. Gunther vs LA Knight. Just an amazing match where again Gunther highlighted his ring general persona. AEW. Continental Classic. Kyle Fletcher vs Kevin Knight. Young stars on display and it was awesome. TNA. Number 1 contender for TNA Knockouts World Championship. Shea Brookside vs Danny Luna. Athleticism and chemistry were front and center. Wrestlers of the week. WWE. Gunther. Two top performances that proves he is on the top of his game. AEW. Claudio Castagnoli, his match against Jon Moxley was brutal and that's after winning the CMLL World title. TNA. Shea Brookside, top contender and had one hell of a match at Final Resolution. TNA is building the Knockouts division. Indie Star of the Week. Drew Hood Viral Pro Champion. A wrestler who is evolving his style and is fun to watch. Well, like always. Chalo kushti karate hai.
Wrestling is something special, as you can see our human element dealt with a lot of superstars. King Kong Bundy, a wrestler deserving WWE Hall of Fame. Sherry Martel was an amazing person who helped revolutionize the women's division. The Crusher, who Milwaukee famous, was a classic star. Puppet the Midget was a bigger-than-life superstar who is both engaging and ahead of his time. Wrestling is life and we want to push it forward.
Thanks for tuning in to Channel 14, Kenosha Community Television. Remember to tune into my program, Just Talkin', shown right here, Tuesday and Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. on Channel 14. On the program, we cover community events, talk to nonprofit organizations, and who knows, we may bump into a celebrity now and then. So remember to tune in to Just Talkin' Tuesday and Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. right here on Channel 14.
Kenosha Community Media. For 40 years it entertained, educated and produced local production for the city of Kenosha. Viewers like you not only can watch but be part of the channel by bringing in local flair. Spectrum Channel 14, Roku and Internet. KenoshaMedia.org. 262-564-6103. Address: Southwest Library, The Hub, 7979 38th Street, Kenosha, Wisconsin 53142.
EveryRing. That's Everything Wrestling is carrying out the tradition that was brought to you by Diablo Angelico and Danger Dan. The show must go on. Mondays at 5 p.m. and Fridays at 6 p.m. on Kenosha Community Media. Channel 14 with Spectrum or on Roku KCM streaming. With EveryRing, That's Everything Wrestling will keep you updated and informed. Mondays at 5 p.m. Fridays at 6 p.m. Tune in and enjoy wrestling. The renaissance of wrestling is occurring as we speak, so be part of sports entertainment. Each week you can see the discussion with topics, wrestlers and matches of the week. Looking at the big three: WWE, AEW and TNA. So if you enjoy wrestling and everything that makes wrestling special, tune in KCM 14 on Mondays at 5 p.m. and Fridays at 6 p.m. EveryRing. That's Everything Wrestling.
Boinker's Cartoon Apocalypse, where classic cartoons are revisited. Saturday at 10 a.m. and Sundays 10:30 a.m. If you enjoy classic and rare cartoons, you go to show. Nigel the Yeti is taking the reins while Mr. Boinkers add to the programming. The likes of Betty Boop, Popeye, Porky Pig, Daffy Duck, Mickey Mouse, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, Felix the Cat and so much more. On Kenosha Community Media Channel 14, sit back with friends and family and relive the magic of morning cartoons. Wake up, gather the family and enjoy cereal and relive one's youth. Mr. Boinker's Cartoon Apocalypse, where whimsy is part of the magic. Join the other circus freaks where cartoons were fun and artistic. Every Saturday at 10 a.m. and Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Enjoy what made mornings special. Mr. Boinker's Cartoon Apocalypse, where classics fill the time.
What the heck are we watching? Movie reviews without pompous and pretentious critics who have agendas. Kenosha Community Media, Fridays at 5 p.m. and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. Cinephiles who like movies for entertainment and not rants and raves, who make the audiences feel bad for themselves. Weekly discussion on movies and with no alternatives. The movie reviews are to help audiences to make their decision. Not only are modern movies reviewed but a discussion on hidden gems, where good movies that have fallen through the cracks and forgotten. So before you go out, check out What the Heck Are We Watching? On Kenosha Community Media Channel 14. Fridays at 5 p.m. and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m.
Just Turned Heel, hosted by Danger Dan and Diablo Angelico, as seen on EveryRing. That's Everything Wrestling. Behind the curtain look at professional wrestling. A gritty shoot style of interviews where we look at various aspects of wrestling. Ever wanted to know what an indie star needs to do to get their foot in the door? Ever wanted to know what a booker does? Ever wanted to know the purpose of a referee is? Just Turned Heel will plunge into the world of wrestling and look at every facet. Just Turned Heel, YouTube exclusive, starting January 28, 2024.
Beware! Take care! The little green dragon sits on your doorstep. He eats little boys. puppy dog tails, and big fat snails. Beware! Pull the string! Pull the string! Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater can be viewed
on Saturdays at 9 o'clock, Tuesdays at 3 o'clock, and Fridays at midnight.
All right, ghoulies, you tune in. You won't be let down.